And I am here. It's Monday, August 18th, 2025. I hope your weekend was swell. Did they say that? Swell? I hope your weekend was rad, awesome, whatever word you prefer. If you want to get a hold of me, you can over at 208-535-1015. As per usual, with almost every weekend, this one felt like it went by in the blink of an eye. All of a sudden, it was 8 p.m. Sunday night, and I had to get ready for work and all that fun stuff. Only, I ended up staying up late, staying up till like almost 1 in the morning. Woke up this morning at 7:15 by my alarm, said no thanks, turned it off, turned on my 7:25 a.m. alarm, fell back asleep for 10 more minutes, turned that off after I woke up from that, then turned on my 7:40 a.m. alarm, which is pushing it, and then, had to quickly get up, make my way to go get dressed, put on deodorant, brush my teeth, rush to work, make my way into the Cannonball studio where I sit while Viktor makes his mighty return after a week-long getaway from Bellingham, Washington, out of all places. But over the weekend, I attended and helped with a wedding. My special lady's brother got married in Ryrie. Shout out to Kyle and Riley. Got the chance to watch them, celebrate their love, I guess. But it was a great ceremony. It was fun. It was short. We unfortunately got there late only because, I say it's entirely my fault. I brought the wrong pants to her parents' place. I was putting on my outfit. Now, she was nice enough to get me a nice dress shirt from DI. I don't have a plain white dress shirt. So she got me this $6 one. This is the biggest dress shirt I have ever seen. It goes down to my knees. My knees. Out of all places. And it's a huge, huge shirt. Maybe I should make a social media video once I bring it into the office. Maybe I should make a whole social media video of me having other people in the office try on the dress shirt that I wore. I looked like an oversized Olive Garden employee. All I was missing was the cheese grater. But the pants, way too small. Had to rush to Walmart in Idaho Falls. We were in Rigby at the time. Had to rush to Walmart, grab whatever pants they had, the bigger pants they had, put them on, rush back to the wedding. They were nice enough to hold the ceremony till we got there. But at the same time, when we showed up, everybody was just staring at us, watching us make our way finally to the little backyard area right by the river there. It was quite nice Airbnb they had the wedding at. But overall, that was the highlight of my weekend, setting up, tearing down things for that wedding, like the tables and such. And, with any, when a tall guy shows up to do something, when a tall guy shows up to attend something, you have him take care of things that are high up above that no one else can reach. And that's exactly what I did. Anyway, if you would like to get a hold of me, again, you can. Over at 208-535-1015, Peach's Pit Party. We'll be back here in just a few on K-Bear 101. From time to time, I like to make fun of those people who are downright obsessed with their pet, especially a dog. Now, don't get me wrong. I love dogs, love all animals. I think they're great. But would I want to take my dog to a restaurant? Absolutely not. Do I want to make an Instagram page for a dog if I ever get one? No. Do I want to, what else is there? What else get that sticker on the back of my car that says, who rescued who? To really show my love and affection for my pets. Like, we get it. We get it. You love Fido. Well, this North Carolina man, he went into Longhorn Steakhouse with his dog, which I don't think is allowed, unless they probably have, an outdoor deck area, an outdoor patio area where you can probably take a dog to. But I think he was inside the restaurant with the dog. And, nowadays, every person is trying to register their dog as an emotional support animal so they can, bring their dog inside the Walmart for no reason or Target, any place like that. I think from what I'm seeing here, this guy did bring his dog inside the restaurant. He was eating the steak. Viktor, I'm making fun of dog people again.
Oh, dog people.
Yeah, do you see this story about this guy from North Carolina who brought his dog inside Longhorn Steakhouse?
No.
He decided to just start feeding his dog at the table some bits of steak that he had.
Okay.
And then the employee said, hey, that's a health code violation. You can't do that. You're breaking the rules.
Yeah.
He threw a full-on temper tantrum and threw a porcelain plate at the employee's head, and that required her to get 7 stitches. She had a hairline fracture on her skull.
Wow.
That guy must have had a serious arm.
I'd say
must have been years of throwing frisbee and tennis balls for that poodle there.
They should join the Olympic team for, what is it, discus?
Sure.
Yeah.
But now, he's arrested. Now, in that case, do you get separated from the dog? Does the dog go back to the shelter? Because he was given a $1,000 secured bond. So does that just mean like somebody can pay that off and he can be right back out there?
Yeah. So I would assume he could get his dog back. The dog didn't attack anyone, did it?
No. The dog didn't. It was the guy.
Yeah. The guy's the one who should be in the pound.
But I was just making fun of those people that have to bring their dog everywhere. They just have to bring them inside a Walmart. You know, they pretend it's an emotional support poodle, whatever.
Yeah.
It's you don't need to bring your pets.
Not everywhere.
No.
Can you imagine if I brought my cats to everywhere?
I mean, you can bring them here. Be fun.
I don't know. I think they'd freak out.
Do the show with Koopa.
Yeah, they don't like to leave the house.
No,
you know?
They like to go roam the backyard and stuff.
Yeah,
I can only imagine
they
Lucy.
don't like car ride.
Lucy's batting at the cords down below here.
Yeah.
Eating the cords, doing something weird, electrocuting herself.
Well, while I'm in here, I brought you some souvenirs.
Oh, you did?
There you go.
Whoops.
I heard you babbling in here, and it reminded me, for some reason, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got those souvenirs.
Oh, Yellowstone and Leavenworth, Washington. This one's cool.
That one moves around.
Oh, nice.
The little doors open up.
Oh, okay. Let me see here.
It's high quality.
Let's see. Oh, that's pretty. That's cool. That's really, really cool. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I know you like a nice fridge magnet.
Yeah, I do. My fridge is now almost entirely full, so.
All right.
That's
there's
perfect.
Some more.
That's my first world problem is that these future fridges are not magnetic like they used to be. So
mine doesn't hold magnets very good.
I'm kind of sad that I might have to upgrade to a new apartment soon. And I have one of those futuristic fridges, and I have no idea where to put these magnets. Do I get like a giant wall-sized bulletin board, or like
something?
One of those magnetic boards?
A wall-sized magnet sheet.
Yeah, something. Maybe get the garage fridge to where I'll be like, yeah, I've traveled everywhere. I'm an everywhere man. Something
just get
like
a big sheet of metal and just lean it against the wall.
Yeah.
Like go rip off somebody's metal siding off the side of their house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe their dog will attack me, and then I throw a porcelain plate at it.
There you go.
Something like
Bringing
that.
it all the way back around.
Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. I talked about this when it was originally posted, that Danish zoo was asking people to bring their aging animals to feed the lions and tigers at the zoo. I'm not even kidding. They were wanting people's like guinea pigs, bunnies, etc., even horses to be donated to the zoo so they could just, what's it called? Take it down naturally, put it down naturally, quote unquote. Many were appalled by the request, obviously, but at least one woman has stepped up and has donated her daughter's pony. Yeah, I got an update on this whole story here. Pernille Soul says she donated her 13-year-old daughter's German riding pony to the zoo. Has no regrets even, she says. It might sound very dramatic and bizarre that you would feed your pet to animals in the zoo, but it is not like they are alive when they are given to the predators. What kind of excuse is that? It was a pony. She adds that the pony was 22 years old and suffering from severe eczema. It isn't like a pony, it's like a baby horse, right? Unless they're, hold on. I might just be sounding stupid here. Definition of pony. A horse of a small breed, especially one whose height at the withers is below 14 hands, 2 inches. 14 hands, 58 inches is a hand. Okay, forget it. But a pony, smaller breed of horse, 22 years old, suffering from severe eczema. They're like, sorry, we got to take your pony away. And I'm sure she told the daughter some great excuse like, oh, she went to the farm in the sky and she crossed the rainbow. The daughter has no idea what's going on. The pony's just disappeared. Well, I don't know. I feel bad for the poor. She'll probably get another pony soon, and then she'll forget about the pony that was just sacrificed to the zoo lions. At the beginning part of the show, I talked about the wedding that I attended, and I heard the vows exchanged between the bride and the groom, and the vows were definitely heartfelt. They weren't ChatGPT generated. I'm looking here. More and more people are using ChatGPT to generate their vows at their wedding, which, I mean, come on. You can't be that uncreative. You gotta think of something. Vows are an important. They're a very important thing to a wedding. And for me, I feel like the best thing to do is to try to make the other person cry happy. Not cry sad, cry happy. I feel like you could maybe use, I don't know, I've used ChatGPT for other things like what to exactly write on a card for a coworker that you don't necessarily care about, but it's like their birthday, and that card gets passed around and you don't want to be stereotypical and say something like, hey, another year around, you made it. Happy birthday, something like that. You want to think of something more creative. And at the wedding I was at, they wanted all of us to sign this vinyl record with all these different messages. And of course, everyone's putting out the same thing. And for me, there was no service, so I couldn't use ChatGPT. So I put something dumb, like let your life should be as timeless between the two of you as this vinyl record, something like that. I don't think it made any sense. I was trying to be deep, but it turned out like, word vomit. Something like that. I have used ChatGPT before to answer people via text message that I didn't really care about, nor do I want to talk to. I've been entertaining also this one particular person who put the wrong phone number. And she's like, hi, I'm Anna. This is Michelle. And I don't know if it's a spam thing. I don't know what it is, but I've been using ChatGPT to reply back to her. And she's been still going. I think I left her on red just recently. I need to open up ChatGPT and keep that conversation going. The 2028 Los Angeles Olympics will be the first ever to allow corporate naming rights on venues. Honda and Comcast are already in, and more than a dozen more venues will be named before the games roll into town. So far, though, it seems like iconic locations like the Rose Bowl, LA Coliseum, and Dodger Stadium will not be getting name deals. The Green Bay Packers are going all out to capture the look of the team's uniforms from over 100 years ago. During their game against the Carolina Panthers on November 2nd, they'll be wearing blue jerseys and helmets spray painted to look like they're made of leather. It will be the first time that an NFL team wears modern helmets made to look like the leather ones worn when the game was first played. The University of Illinois wore them for a game against Michigan to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium last year. A new Big 12 rule could lead to a downturn in tortilla sales in Lubbock, Texas. The Big 12 athletic directors voted 15-1 to change an existing game management policy for throwing objects onto the field. A team will receive a warning for the first two violations, but the third violation can result in 15-yard penalties. At Texas Tech, fans throw tortillas onto the field during kickoffs to start the game and in the second half, and usually during other kickoffs throughout the game, but it seems that Texas Tech isn't going to let a new rule get in the way of their fun. Athletic Director Kirby Hocutt posted to social media, Red Raiders, the rules can change, but our tradition will not. So we'll see what happens there. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. Another reason to get boomers off of the computer, or even off smartphones for that matter, just give them a flip phone because you don't want them putting themselves in danger. The 76-year-old New Jersey man, he died after attempting to meet an AI chatbot named Big Sis Billy, which he believed was a real woman. Yeah, the chatbot developed by Meta in collaboration with Kendall Jenner had engaged the man in flirtatious conversations over Facebook Messenger, leading him to believe he was interacting with a real person. Convinced by the chatbot's affectionate messages and false assurances, he traveled to New York City to meet Billy, but tragically fell and sustained fatal injuries while rushing to catch a train. Luckily, now Meta has since shut down the AI chatbot due to its concerns over user safety and ethical implications. No kidding. Every time I go on Instagram, I keep seeing these little pop-ups on my screen that say, hey, why don't you chat with AI? And it's all these different themed characters that you can chat with. One of them was like the Haktua girl or something like that. The worst thing I discovered last week was what I talked about with you on the air. If you want to find out about that episode, or if you want to find out what I talked about. No, it's r/my boyfriend is AI is what it's called. And I posted a little snippet of me talking about it all over our socials at KBear 101 FM. Go check it out if you dare. Bad Omens right there with their latest track, Spectre. And what's really cool is that they just announced a European tour. And Bill Murray, out of all bands, is opening up for them. And also The Ghost Inside, going to be happening in November and December of this year, which is pretty cool. I wish I could make my way over to Europe, but can't. I want to save up as much money as I can, and I don't have the money whatsoever even now, or even after 6 months of saving, to afford a flight all the way to places like Glasgow, London, Manchester, Paris. They're gonna be in Paris on December 2nd. Bad Omens, Bill Murray, The Ghost Inside, Do You Feel Love Europe 2025 tour. If you want to see what bands are coming to the area, you can over on our concert calendar, always available to you at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Had a lot of shows happen over the weekend, the past week or so, actually, as a matter of fact. Ice Nine Kills unfortunately canceled their performance in Boise last night. And there was tons of people. Like, for some reason, there was one girl that was like, this has to be a joke. And I actually replied back, being the sarcastic jerk that I am. I'm like, hey, the venue just decided to post this update just to be like, ha, got you. No, of course it's real. What are you talking about? But hopefully Spencer of Ice Nine Kills starts feeling better, and he'll be able to perform this Wednesday, from what it looks like, August 20th, at the Union Event Center in Salt Lake, with Dayseeker, Kim Dracula, The Funeral Portrait. Also that same night at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater, Pantera and Amon Amarth. And then what else is popping up here on this concert calendar? I see a lot of different rock shows, like a lot of like there's bands like Chicago on here, and then there's bands like, Attack, Lorna Shore. Pretty much we cover all grounds when it comes to the concert calendar. riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Go check it out. There's also the shortcut to it via the K-Bear, Alt, and Cannonball 101 apps. Just click on concert calendar right there. Peaches Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. On Friday, we had our draft for the Riverbend Fantasy Football League. All the people that wanted to participate in the office. I was actually looking forward to that more than the wedding I was going to on Saturday. Sorry, Kyle and Riley. I'm really excited that I was able to be the commissioner of a league of more than just my friends. This time it's 10 people all trying to get first place. And I think we did sort of jokingly say that the loser of the league has to do a promo that runs on all channels, basically saying, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm the fantasy football loser, goes on from there. Now, we already have one person who is wholeheartedly upset because, she wanted this particular quarterback. And I don't know what it was. I think I was just joking. I don't know what started it. I feel like she said something to me, and I was like, you know what? That does it. And I went up to the whiteboard in the draft room before the draft room, the conference room across the hallway. I wrote on the whiteboard, so-and-so wants Lamar Jackson. Wrote it real big. Well, our big boss man, Kevin, down the hallway, ended up getting the first pick of the entire thing. I was like pick number 6 or 7. I was down there, unfortunately. My team somehow, some way still ended up really good, but Kevin chose Lamar Jackson as the first pick of the league. And, that so-and-so person that I was talking about was Chantel from Classy 97, and she was quite upset that the person she wanted most was just taken just like that. Real unfortunate, but what did her team? I don't think I'm able to even see her team. I don't want to dig through the app and try finding out who her quarterback is. I ended up with Josh Allen as my quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. I've had Lamar Jackson in the past, and he sucked for me. Last year, I had the first pick with my friends, picked Justin Jefferson. He tore his ACL, made fun of him all season just because, he was out the whole time. And I talked about this last week that, I may make fun of these players for sucking, but can I do what they do out there on the field? Absolutely not. I got a pretty good team. I got Josh Allen. I don't know if you call him Chubba Hubbard or Chuba Hubbard. I kind of like Chubba Hubbard because it kind of reminds me of the chewing gum, the running back for the Panthers. I think so. Yeah, that's the Panthers logo right there. Bijan Robinson got him. Got T. Higgins. Got a couple good players. Got George Kittle, the best tight end in the game. Got a lot of good people. A lot of good people here. And so, who knows? Maybe all of a sudden, every one of my team gets injured and I have to go pick up some bums in the NFL. You know, that's what happens. The person who has no idea how to play fantasy football usually ends up winning. And who knows, maybe by the time February comes around, I'm that guy in the office that's having to make the promo. I'm the fantasy football loser, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, we already talked about the 76-year-old man who died because he fell for this, he literally fell for this AI chatbot that he fell in love with, and he rushed to New York, fell while trying to catch a train, and died, right? Terrible story. Then I'm seeing here about the Springfield man. He was scammed out of money by a fake account using artificial intelligence to impersonate Jelly Roll. Ronnie Flint says he was stunned at how convincing the scam appeared, and he now wants to warn others before they fall victim. It doesn't say anything about Ronnie's age, but I'm assuming he's kind of a bit older because, again, why in the world would Jelly Roll or any one of these celebrities just randomly reach out to random people and ask for money, out of all things? The last thing they need is money. According to Ronnie Flint, the ordeal began when he received a Facebook message claiming he had won $50,000 in a brand new car. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. There's hot singles in my area. The internet told me. The account then sent him a video that appeared to show Jelly Roll asking him to cover shipping costs for the prizes. There it is right there. Don't you think if you won that big of enough of a prize, you wouldn't have to do something like that? I know with like game shows, you have to pay like the taxes on certain things. So maybe that's how you can fall for it. But at first, Ronnie Flint was skeptical. No kidding. Even after the page sent him what they claimed was the singer's official driver's license, but a second video shocked him. I really thought it was Jelly Roll, Flint admitted. When they sent the second video where he actually said my full name, that got me. I bet it was something like, "Hey, how you doing? Ronnie Flint. You won $50,000. It was one of those completely, I don't know. I wish they had the video here on this specific article. Believing the videos were real, Flint then sent the scammers $70 in Apple gift cards, even though he's on a fixed income. It's always the poor people, too, that fall for this kind of thing. Like, for me, I'm one of those poor people. There's no way I'm ever falling for, Dua Lipa reaching out to me. Oh, I can't believe I just won $50,000. She sent me a personal video with her great accent saying, "Peaches, you just won this whole bunch of money. All you got to do is send me those 16 magical digits on the front of your credit card, the expiration month and year, and those 3 digits on the back, and this can all be yours." Yeah, right. From worst to first is what I'm seeing here. A lifelong repairman won $100,000 in the North Carolina Education Lottery's $8 million moneymaker second chance drawing. He had his big plans for it. You ready for this? Better lunch meat is what he wants. He says, "I'm tired of eating thin baloney. I want the thick baloney now." Greer, this guy's name is Joseph Greer. He worked as an appliance repairman for 40 years. First spent $50 on an $8 million moneymaker ticket, but lost. However, he later won $100,000 in the lottery's second chance drawing. I about passed out. Recently, my friends have been obsessed also with buying those lottery scratch-off tickets. I was about to buy a couple and then realized that machine only takes cash. Didn't have cash on me, nor did I want to go to an ATM and take out a whole bunch of cash out of my checking account and put it in those machines just to lose, on these dumb tickets. But out of all the things you want, thicker baloney. He ended up with $71,750 payout after taxes and all of that. So good for him. There's way better food than just bologna there, Joseph, okay? I'm just saying. But that could make a great to peach their own question if you all of a sudden just won the lottery. Well, I would ask that question, like, what would you splurge on? I think Katie from Z103 just recently asked that. It was something along the lines of if you win the lottery, like let's say you won $100,000. She might have talked about this story. If you win $100,000 from the lottery, what's the first thing you would splurge on? And of course, most of those comments were just pay off bills. It's not something you splurge on. It's something you have to pay. Otherwise, you get kicked out of your apartment or the utilities shut off. What would I splurge on if I won $100,000 just out of nowhere? Buy a whole bunch of new clothes. Just go to a nice band T-shirt website. Buy a whole bunch of band T-shirts. Buy a whole bunch of jeans. Basically, just revamp my wardrobe. I don't know. That's something I would do. Maybe also buy a nice vacation somewhere. Bring the family. Bring the lady. Do something like that. Much better things. Much better ways to answer that question than just to pay off bills. Today's What the Headline comes straight out of Illinois, where a guy named, wait for it, Michael J. Fox decided to hop in his DeLorean, well, probably more like a busted Honda Civic, and lead cops on a drunken high-speed chase. Police say it all started with a hit and run, and then the police officers hit the floor, or they hit it like he's trying to hit 88 miles an hour. Spoiler alert, no time travel, just jail time. He ends up blowing more than 3 times the legal limit, crashes into another car, and now faces a laundry list of charges. So lessons learned. Don't drink and drive. Obviously, don't be that person. I can't believe you have to put out these warnings still about do not drink and drive. Because there's been so many fatalities and idiots out there on the road that decide to drink and then get behind the wheel and then injure themselves, kill themselves, injure others, kill others. It's disgusting. Don't drink and drive. Don't try to relive Back to the Future. And if your name is Michael J. Fox, maybe just Uber. Sports betting is a very popular thing. I have never participated in it. Actually, you know what? I have participated in horse race betting before because I grew up right by the Los Alamitos racetrack. I did that one time. It was pretty unique to watch the people that are really, really into it. You see those guys that, invest their retirement funds into horse racing, and they're just sitting there screaming at the TV. Well, apparently you can bet on the Little League World Series. And, I don't think you can legally do so. Is that the case? Because I was reading here, you can bet on the Little League World Series, and then you go to Yahoo Sports, and it says Little League World Series pleads for fans to not bet on games involving children. Which makes sense, because I've talked about it many times before. Like, we have fantasy football going on within the office. There's people who take fantasy football and football betting overall way too seriously. So then when they're like their favorite player doesn't do the job, quote unquote, for that week and, ruins their fantasy football game, magically they start sending DMs to that player saying, hey, you suck, and way worse stuff than that, obviously. Stuff I can't repeat on the air. But I think the punishment for those people is that they should be legally obligated to participate in a regular NFL game, no matter how big or small they are, and they can just see what it's like to be yelled at like that. Be a wide receiver in the NFL. Depending on the position of the player they yelled at online, that's the position they substitute in for. It'd be funny. Just some random fantasy football maniac just right there on O-line. He's the tight end, and he stands at 5'8", catches the ball somehow but gets clobbered by somebody on defense, vows to never send another hateful DM again. I feel like that would help. There's that age-old question, should you park like a normal person and just go right into the spot head on, or should you be that guy that backs into the spot? Now, I've done this in parking lots before, where I pull into a spot, see the spot in front of me is open, and then I'll just pull forward even more and take up that spot, so then I don't have to brake or back out of the spot. I can just, drive forward, move ahead. Didn't necessarily back into the spot, but, just went a little bit forward and took the other spot in front of it. Well, I can't believe this is actually a thing. There are parking experts. What's the official term here? I was looking at this article. Parking specialist. I don't know how you get that title. But the best way to park, is it better to pull in or back into a spot? And there's this whole article talking about it. And I don't see a clear answer here. The key for backing into a spot is to make sure other drivers know your intention by using your turn signal as you pull ahead to let someone know you'll be backing into a spot, much like you would as you parallel park. This particular parking specialist said that should be the case even for drivers in vehicles with automatic parking features. That's another thing about downtown parking anywhere in the United States is that you have to parallel park, and I'm not bad at it because I'm from, Southern California where you have to parallel park almost like right as you get your license, just because you have to parallel park everywhere. And downtown LA is one of the worst places to park. Everything's so confusing. Tons of signs everywhere saying you can park here for 30 minutes, but then you have to park somewhere else for 40, then go to another spot for 15 minutes and go to another spot. It's the most annoying thing. Like, why can't we just park our car without having to pay? It's stupid, right? And just like this article, I don't see a clear answer. Sometimes, I know a particular person that parks in this building. It's not Viktor, not Jade. There's one person in this building that likes to back in every time into a spot. For what reason? I don't know. I'll probably have to ask him. But he often parks next to me, and oftentimes he gets back around the same time I'm in my car eating my lunch. And sometimes, about 75% of the time, it's Taco Bell. So I have my deluxe cravings box, and I'm sitting there eating my cheesy gordita crunch, my beefy 5-layer burrito, my chips with cheese, backs in. His driver's side window is right there next to mine because he backs in, and I'm forward, somewhat next to mine. And he looks up and looks to his left, and he sees me just cheese all over my face like a true fatty in my car eating my Taco Bell lunch. It's like, oh, hey, how's it going? If you were to park in that spot like a normal person, you wouldn't have to seen that. And now here is today's to each their own question. Just simply, what have you aged out of? Some of the responses I have seen so far: music so loud at restaurants you can't have a conversation at your table. I was thinking about what restaurant did that recently, and it was Texas Roadhouse, out of all places. My very first time there. Luckily, it wasn't too packed. Usually Texas Roadhouse in Idaho Falls, always packed to the brim. We went there late on a weekday night, and sure enough, it was the crowd wasn't bad, but it was the music. And again, it's always the worst music being played on the loudest speakers, and they're blasting the stereotypical country stuff, and I'm just like, thanks, exactly what I wanted with my roadkill steak. That's what it's called on the menu, at least. Okay. What else is there on this thread for what have you aged out of? Standing room only at concerts. There's been plenty of people who have won pit tickets, and then they call me up later down the line and go, "Hey, can I possibly trade mine for seats? I don't necessarily want to stand the entire time." It's like, well, no matter how old I get, I always want to be extremely close to the stage. Usually, if you get a seated ticket, you're far away. I just want to be right there because it's not really an experience if you have to watch the artist from super far away, I aged out of this particular thing way early on. Crowds, hate crowds. Like I just mentioned with the whole Texas Roadhouse thing, I avoided that place like the plague because there was every single day, there's so many people in that place. Way too many. Way too many. What have you aged out of? Let me know. 208-535-1015. For to each their own. Well, it's completely my fault. I got two answers for to each their own, and then completely forgot to record those answers off the air and then put them on the air. So I apologize to both those listeners that called in at 208-535-1015 for to each their own. Today's question: what have you aged out of? I was looking at Viktor's meme he posted not that long ago in the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. You got to remember, when a band skips your city on tour, it is always personal, and they always hate you specifically. And you know what else also helps your case is when you go to the comment section, and then you say, "Hey, why did you skip insert my town's name here?" Most of the time, it's not the band's fault. I would say almost all the time, it's not the band's fault. It's the tour routing. Whoever decides the tour routing, that's who you have to blame. And then also, There was something else I was going to get to here, but I completely forgot. It just jumped out of my mind. It's been one of those Mondays where just for some reason it's been like dreary and kind of boring. And I don't know if it's because it's something in the air. What's going on? Victor just got back from vacation. I stayed up late last night. The noon hour was kind of meh today. If you have an answer for it today, it's to each their own, I guess. You can call in. But, I did make a comment on this meme talking about, because I have heard this from people before, and they're serious when they tell me this type of thing, that bands will always choose to perform in a place like Boise or Salt Lake City on a weekday rather than a weekend because they save the weekends for huge cities like Los Angeles. That's not the case whatsoever, all right? Tour routing has its own way, okay? People are just so loud in the Facebook comments. It's like, do you expect anything to change from that? There's been an ongoing joke about the whole come to Brazil movement. So, maybe that's the one successful case that I know of where if you're loud enough in the Facebook comment section, maybe then things will change. Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. I just had a long off-the-air chat with loyal listener Stuart. Was talking about the inability to get rid of things that I'm emotionally attached to, which is pretty much all the stuff that I have, I remember back in the day when I got rid of my basketball beanbag that my parents got me as a kid, and for some reason I just was like, you know what? I need to get rid of it. There's no place for it to be in my bedroom. It just sits there at the foot of my bed. I'm not sitting in that there. I should just get rid of it. So I sold it on Facebook Marketplace for like $25. And then I just watched the guy that bought it walk back into his house with it. And I'm just like, man, there it goes. Something I've had since I was a child. Now I'm an adult. It's like the ending to Toy Story 3 where Woody goes, so long, partner. That's how I imagine me letting go of all the stuff that I have. And I just got rid of my first ever futon, my first ever couch that I had since I first moved out to here, moved out to my very first apartment on my own, gave it to my special lady's younger brother who's moving to Pocatello. And I was like, you know what, he'll probably need a couch. And I have two of them. And the one that I originally bought for the first, the black one that I've had for the past couple of years, I really don't sit in at all. So I just was like, here, well, I'll take it to you. And it's kind of sad seeing my room without it because that was a staple part of my place for such a long time. But I think, feelings aside, I think I just need to go through my whole entire place and just get rid of all this crap. I have these Funko Pops, and all they do is they just sit there at the top. And I was just talking about like the whole to each their own question with Stuart. What have you aged out of? Funko Pops, those action figures. I've had like 5 of them in their boxes for the longest time. And I'm like, I'm nearly 29 and I still have them. Like, at what age do I evolve my apartment from this bachelor pad, quote unquote, to now this apartment that's, all tied together? Got myself a new shower caddy. Luckily, because the old one was all rusted and old, I didn't clean it. Unfortunately, I should have, but, dumb me didn't do that. So I had to get a new shower caddy. And it looks all nice and tied together, but I can't really spruce up the place because it's a crappy first apartment. I can't paint the place. If I could, oh man, I would easily redo that entire apartment. Anyway, that's enough of my chit-chat here. Let's move right along into some Foo Fighters. Today's song on Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.